Hi, how are you? Everybody asks that question. Whether you're a stranger, a good friend, or a family member, that's the greeting that most people will give you. And I've never been able to deal well with that question, which is, I know it's ridiculous. It's literally a knee-jerk reaction of a greeting. It's hi, but with an extra few words. But for me, I'm usually not fine. I'm usually not okay. And I desperately want to tell people that what I'm actually feeling is not great, is not fine. But you can't do that. Nobody wants to hear that, especially if they're in a good mood. Hi, how are you? I do it. I say it all the time, and I really shouldn't. Because asking that question really should get the response it deserves. How are you? I'm terrible. I've had a really rubbish day, week, month, year, life, and this has happened, and I'm not dealing well with it. Would be the reaction most of us would like to give, but instead we all say, yeah, I'm good, how are you? And we do this to keep the social norms going because we don't raise mental health issues, we don't talk about our feelings very often, and when we do, we feel really exposed and we feel like people are judging us. And so it's better to just bury it all down and never talk about it. But it made me wonder, if that was the case, why do we ask how people are? If we all go through this, feeling of, I want to tell you, but it's not socially right to do so, then why bother asking, how are you? Why not ask anything else? Hi, have you been to the bus stop today? Or just if you want to add something else. Or in Asia, they ask, have you eaten? Hi, have you eaten? And that's their greeting. But it's just weird. I don't know if it's the same anywhere else in the world, but here in Britain, we always say, how are you? I'm not good. I'm really not good. And whether you are a stranger, a close friend, or a family member, I'm still not going to tell you I'm not good. And it got to a point, I was in a really low point in my life quite a while ago now. And I got to the point where I didn't actually want to speak to people because I knew they would ask that question and I was so afraid that it would come out. That I would say, oh, no, I'm not all right, help me. And I didn't feel comfortable enough to do that with anyone. So I shut out the world for 2 weeks. I didn't see another human being in 2 weeks. And it's strange how we don't deal well with mental health. We don't deal with it ourselves, we don't deal with sharing it, and we don't deal with hearing it. And that's really difficult in a society where most of the population have some kind of mental health problems, whether it's just somebody's died and you're grieving, or you are feeling stress over work. And all this builds up to mental health, where you feel it's too much for you, but you also feel you can't share it. And so I am now on my journey trying to share my thoughts and feelings about mental health in the hopes that more people will open up. It doesn't mean pouring your heart out to every single person, but it does mean having a few trusted confidants that you can actually talk to and offload some of that pain that you have. And so even though I'm not offloading to social media, I am here saying that yes, I do struggle with mental health problems. I have done my entire life, and I know many of you do as well. And you don't have to suffer alone. There are people who will hear you and listen and maybe be able to give advice, whether that's a friend or a family member or even a therapist. I'm in therapy at the moment and it's eye-opening. It really is. I'm discussing things I've never discussed before, and it's really helping. It's also tearing my heart out, but it's actually really helping as well. So never feel that you're alone. I think the majority of the population have mental health issues at some point, and maybe we could all be more comfortable not only sharing but also listening and trying to understand. And I know that's particularly difficult for men, and it shouldn't be. We all strip away everything else, we are all a brain exactly the same. And that's basically all we are, a brain. Everything else just keeps this running. So look after this, because that's who you are. Have a great day.